Are we live? Oh, shoot. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. We back in the building. It's been what, like 3 months now? Just for context, I'm here in the Museum of the Future, here attending the CMT Summit. It's the Chartered Market Technician Summit. So it's all about technical analysis. So, I'm totally new. So, I'm learning a little bit something. So I'm on an educational tour, man. My friends. I know it's been 3 months, my brother, and
Yeah, it's
you've
been a
been
time.
quite busy too. What's going on with you, man?
Yeah, I've been busy, Marcus. I mean, quite a lot of partnership, and I do play for a heavy metal band, or death metal band to be precise. So, been slightly busy on that front as well. But yeah, things are definitely exciting once again in the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, isn't it?
Yeah, no, true that, true that. But I guess what the last 3 months, I think you've been, uh, you know,
Making a
you've
lot
been
of
with your
partnerships.
band, right?
Yeah, I've been busy
Say,
with my band, and I've been making quite a lot of partnerships as well. So we have new sponsors, that is Amana. Also have
oh
a
yeah.
partnership or collaboration with one of the colleges in Queen, which I'll definitely talk about in a bit. Then also media
All
partner
right.
for a
Okay. Cool.
couple of
Cool.
events.
All right. Okay. Cool, man. No, that's great. You know what? Let's. I know you have. Uh, been doing some really good research. So I don't know. I don't know where to begin. I know the markets have been quite interesting.
Yep,
So
yep.
let me see. Where shall we begin? Where
So
shall we begin? Should we
there are 5
cover
topics I
what's
was
happening in
thinking
the
of
United
covering today.
States, or
I was thinking of touching base on 5 things, Marcus, in today's Unfiltered chat. The first one is regarding the US government shutdown, because surprisingly the prices are pumped up a lot. And the second one I thought about is talking
yeah?
about the eternal peace in Middle East. And I want we'll talk about it more of it from a Bitcoin and cryptocurrency point of view. What kind of an impact will it actually have in the so-called cryptocurrency space? And there's some really interesting partnership in the world of tokenization. There are essentially 4 giant companies involved. That is Ripple, Securitize, BlackRock, as well as VanEck.
Oh yeah.
And they're working on tokenization
Of
using
course, we
Ripple
cannot forget about
stablecoin.
BlackRock. I mean, they are
Yep, yep.
in the midst of things,
And
So
and the other thing which I wanted to touch base is, Marcus, something which you'd be familiar, and this is going back to 2017 when we had the whole Bitcoin Cash versus Bitcoin Core drama. Now there is a bit of drama going on in the Bitcoin world which is connected to Bitcoin knots versus Bitcoin Core. So I thought we'll very briefly touch base on that. We won't go into the technical details of it because it is slightly technical.
yeah, let's not go into the
Yeah.
technicals because I don't think because honestly, I'm not ready for that conversation
Yep, yep.
because I don't know, there's so much going on, and there's a lot coming out of the woodwork. So um, I think we would need to have like just a separate session on that, honestly. So I
At
think it's
least 3 to 5
unfair
sessions
for
on that, yeah.
the followers or the listeners, who are trying to understand the stuff. So I don't think it's I don't know, because to me I won't be able to. I mean, there's so many tangents I'll go on. So, but I think we can briefly cover it just to keep people aware that
Yeah.
this thing is happening, right? So I don't think people know about it, to be honest. Because I think a lot of people are paying attention.
Yeah, but what a lot of people should actually pay attention to is the digital ID, Marcos, which is kicking off in UK. And I don't see any benefits of it, but we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that, because there are a lot of negatives rather
For
than
sure,
positives to it.
absolutely, 100%, 100%
Yeah.
with you all the way. So
And then we'll talk about, a couple of cryptocurrency trends that we have noticed at least in the last 1 week. And there's some really interesting information, particularly in the world of artificial intelligence and Abu Dhabi in particular. Because it looks like they might just be the world leader in artificial intelligence, and the government of Abu Dhabi wants to be the world's first fully AI native government across all digital services, and they're doing it in just a matter of 2 years by 2027.
no, true, no, true that. Yeah, I just saw the news about. I think they're trying to digitize through AI, like the payments, um, some other processes. So I think the big dream is to go kind of like 100%. But I
Yeah.
guess the question is like, I mean, is it going to happen anytime soon? I don't think so. But I think that's the vision, maybe?
They're targeting 2027, and Marcus, I can say that if there is any country that can pull it off, it is definitely United Arab Emirates. I think they can definitely do that in probably 2 years. If it was any other country, let's say India or something, I think that plan would have been derailed by at least a couple of decades as well, maybe.
Yeah, I know, but okay. But to just remind me again, if I remember correctly, Abu Dhabi's goal is to be what, fully AI, what, like 2027? That's in 2 years. I mean, that's kind of far-fetched, don't you think?
That is just the government services. So it is the first fully AI native government. So I'm assuming it is only for the government services. So I do think it's definitely possible, isn't it? Compared to the entire city or the entire emirate. So the vision is Abu Dhabi wants to be the world's first fully AI native government across all digital services by 2027. And knowing some of the top companies like G42 and the investments flowing in Abu Dhabi, 100%. I wouldn't be surprised if it is done in the first half of 2027, to be precise. But let's see what the new narrative is building up in the cryptocurrency space. Now, what about, let's start off with the hot topic, Marcus, which is regarding the US government shutdown.
Hey, my favorite topic. As a libertarian, I think I love it. So.
Yeah, I think it's personally, I also like the fact that it is shut down. Now, what I did, Marcus, exactly at midnight, 12 a.m. at Washington, D.C., what I wanted to find out, how does the cryptocurrency market react to it? And exactly at midnight, the Bitcoin price was at $114,000. And right now, Wirecoin market cap it is showing as $118,000. So it looks like things are definitely looking great for the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies because the US government is shut down. Now, could it be possible that a lot of traders are trying to manipulate the market? They might be wanting to go short. There is definitely a possibility for that as well. But more importantly, Marcus, what I'm looking at is something called as ETF inflows. Now, I do have our Blockchain DXB podcast, Marcus, which I release every day. One of the first metrics I've been looking at least since the last 3 months, is the ETF-related data. Just simple inflows and outflows. And before the shutdown, Marcos, there was an inflow of $1 billion. This is Bitcoin as well as Ethereum ETF, which means the investor confidence is great in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency world, and that's the reason why there's so much of inflows flowing in. Now, because of the US government shutdown, the investor confidence, at least based on the ETF-related data, looks like it is still strong because since the last 24 hours, and I've got this information via Grok, the ETF inflows is still positive, and it is around, let's see what the exact updated information is. Let me do one thing. Let me check it right now. Right now via Grok, it is still showing that it is in positive of $400+ million. This is literally after the shutdown. Okay. So it looks like a lot of investors are kind of positive that the US government is shut down. At least that is what we can say, isn't it? Now,
especially as a radical libertarian, like, a lot of one of our favorite topics is, the non-essential, right? Yeah. Like jobs or something like that, or these folks. So, I know. It's always good to bring that up, so, because like, how do they define essential and not? And a lot of cases, like, if you're talking about the US government, a lot of stuff is kind of non-essential, so just a, unnecessary tax burden, definitely through the average Joe and Janes out there, so it's not like it's affecting the big companies and stuff. But I know, I digress. But please continue.
Yeah, for our listeners, if they want to find out ETF-related information, that is the inflows and outflows, you can check it now via defalama.com. They've just started updating this data, I believe, roughly around 3 months ago. But what I tend to do is, Marcus, via Grok, I put a very specific prompt. And let me just go ahead and put the prompt right now, and it says, in fact, right now, Marcus, it's saying that the Bitcoin and ETF is in inflows of $859 million. And this is data after the US shutdown, because the prompt that I put is, can you take information after Washington, D.C., after the government shutdown? And now it is given that $859 million. And based on my understanding, the information that Grok puts out is pretty accurate. you might see a bit of difference with defilama.com, because defilama.com, I do believe they get updated every 3 hours or so.
Yeah, that part I'm not sure though. So
Yeah.
I mean, I would be pretty cautious. I know because like many times when you check out some of the text volumes in the previous sessions, there've been like delays or something like that,
Exactly,
or
yeah.
there's
Sometimes
these
it
like
is missing as well.
especially with the Solana stuff, especially with with Radium and stuff.
Yeah.
I do remember like it's like crazy numbers. So it's not the most accurate. I mean, I think this is like the fifth time we're talking about it.
Yeah, and
Like,
I've sent you personal messages where
they
have completely messed up the data as well. And when the moment I send them a message via X, they often reply and they said, yes, the data is inaccurate. So maybe they know that there's one person who's actually checking the information non-stop. They immediately look at my
but okay,
tweet.
I will give them credit though that at least they're honest about it, and they are trying to improve. So I think that part is fine. What I don't like about like other companies like in the crypto space or something like that is the delay tactics or the the silence treatment. I mean to all the fellows out there who are dating and stuff, like I mean getting the silent treatment is more than enough, so like we don't need that in the crypto space. I think we need like transparency and honesty. So that's something what me and George were doing right now, covering all these pretty interesting topics that is affecting the way Web3 affect make an impact in when it comes to your data, your info, and of course money. So anyways, George, please go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, this year, I'm not sure how long this US government will remain shut down, but based on my understanding, Markose, I don't think so it will last for long, because a lot of the Democrats, they want to go ahead and put the government starting to work once again. Now, the last US government shutdown did actually take place between 22nd of December 2018 till the 25th of January 2019, and this was for 35 days. Now, you remember, Markose, this was after the ICO era, when the prices are falling down. And that was the first time, to be honest, we heard of this terminology called as crypto winter. That was in 2018, and ironically, that is the time when the last US government was shut down as well. Now, the price of Bitcoin, Markose, back then was $4,000.
Oh, yeah.
So right now, when there is the second US government shutdown, the price is up by $100,000. $110,000 to be precise, because it's $114,000. $114,000 because it's $118,000 right now. So a lot has happened in just a matter of 6 years. But yeah, otherwise,
totally.
Markose, if you look at September historically, September has been the worst month for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, except since the last 2 years, because BlackRock has gotten into the game and they have launched their whole ETF. But historically, September has always been Red September. But right now, this month, rather last month in September, Bitcoin did actually reach a new all-time high. I believe it was in the second week of September. And Ethereum also reached a new all-time high. It did touch to $4,800. But towards the final week, it did actually slow down and the prices did actually fall down. Now, the big question is, Markose, we are in October, or Uptober, like to call it. Now, historically, Markose, 18 months after the Bitcoin halving is when the price reaches a new all-time high, isn't it? And the 18th month is actually on October. So do you think that this month we might actually reach a new all-time high, maybe for Bitcoin or maybe even altcoin and other shitcoins?
That I mean, that is a possibility because look, I'm here at the the CMT, which is the Chartered Market Technician Summit. So it's all about technical analysis, and there's one guy, he works with single family offices, and he did cover some crypto stuff. And one of the charts, I wish I would have a way to connect with my phone over here, like I know, but essentially he compared it to like kind of like a Hollywood actor. They work like 6 months and they're holiday for like for 6 months, and usually like it's based on seasonality, and usually like October, November, and December tends to be pretty good, tends to go up. That I mean, there's a reason why we saying October. We say October. I know it's kind of memey. I know it's kind of cringy and stuff, but if you're looking at some comparing like from since 2017 or whatever, till now, and if you're able to like collate it and categorize by months, you do see a lot of green when it comes to October, November, and definitely December too. So
Yep. So
yeah.
looks like the other thing I wanted to touch base is, ways indirectly the U.S. government shutdown could actually impact Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and this is not necessarily regarding the process. Now, the U.S. Security and Exchange Commission, they're definitely working, but the U.S. Security and Exchange Commission, Markos, they do rely on certain data which is by the non-essential department, which is shut down right now. So we can expect a lot of delays in ETF approvals, so be it, let's say, Solana ETF, Dogecoin ETF, yeah. Then this is because of the shutdown. These are some indirect impacts. Along with that, Marcus, CPI data or the inflation data, that will definitely be delayed because of the US government shutdown. Now, because the CPI inflation data is delayed, it also means that Fed Chair Jerome Powell, the decision that he's going to be making, he will not be having all the information to go ahead and make the decision regarding reduce the interest rate. Now, one of the reasons why, Marcus, October, November, December usually tends to show green is because around August, in the third week of August, he has a speech at Jackson Hole. And in that speech, he gives what is going on in the entire year. And this year, the speech was on the 22nd of August. And Fed Chair Jerome Powell, or should I say former Fed Chair Jerome Powell pretty soon, he did actually state that, there is a very high possibility for further rate cuts. And if the rates are reducing, it actually means that people can take out more loans. And because of that, the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies will be pumping up, isn't it? Now, because of the US government shutdown, I really am not sure with what data he's going to be making that decision, whether to keep the interest rate, reduce it, or increase it. But most likely he might just keep it the same, and in November he might go ahead and reduce the interest rate once again. So those were some areas.
That'd be interesting, though.
Yeah. So those were some areas, Marcus, where I think the U.S. government shutdown does actually impact, or indirectly also impact, the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now, apart from that, Marcus, one thing which did happen just a day before that is connected to the whole chaos in the Middle East. That is Israel and Palestine. President Donald Trump, along with the Prime Minister of Israel, Netanyahu, did actually state that they are focusing on eternal peace in the Middle East. Now, we won't talk about politics as such, but I wanted to talk about, how will it actually impact Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now, one area where I very strongly feel that this would be positive for the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is because, let's say, if there is eternal peace, it would mean that, oil prices could actually go down. It would mean smooth operations of oil, which could have a knock-on effect on other things. And we know that right now, Middle East is kind of like leading the space in the cryptocurrency space, isn't it? Even when you talk about United Arab Emirates or even Bahrain, they are pro-Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So any peace agreement will definitely be great. And historically, Marcus, whenever there is, the escalation reduces, the prices do actually pump up by roughly around 10 to 20%. And I'm feeling that the timing of all of these things are perfectly great, isn't it? Because October is when the 18th month also happens. You have Federal Chair Jerome Powell reducing the interest rate. So it's definitely going to be really interesting, I think so. And regarding this eternal peace, there's only two things I wanted to touch bases, the first thing is they have launched something called as Border of Peace. Which involves a lot of Arabic leaders. And now we know the Arabic region are definitely pro-Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And other than that, there is also a trilateral committee between Israel, USA, and Qatar. So could it be possible, there is some kind of agreement done between these three nations to go ahead and maybe use cryptocurrencies also as form of payment for trade agreement? Definitely a possibility, isn't it? So that is one area I thought it could be connected to the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Well, what's your take, Marcos, regarding the so-called eternal peace in the Middle East? Or I think it's great.
I mean, it's a nice, it's a nice marketing term and stuff. But that's, I mean, that's I guess a hot topic, especially if you're connecting with U.S., Qatar, and Israel.
Yep.
Not sure. Not sure. Some of the actions taken. a couple of weeks ago.
That is scary.
And also with the and also let's not forget about like the current situation with the flotilla too. So
Yep.
that's yeah. So I don't know. That's too far fetched to me. So and I don't think like most people like believe in that
Yep.
that terminology. So.
But let's say if there is a peace, I think the cryptocurrency world will be benefited by it, isn't it? Let's see eventually if there is a peace. I mean, I would love to see a lot of cryptocurrency adoption, even in Palestine for that matter.
I mean, look, if you talk about Palestine, I mean, already, a lot of the charities and stuff. I know Ray Youssef from No One's App. I mean, like he has done. You got like in a Bitcoin for Palestine. So I mean, he has been, quite interesting. I mean, he's the same guy who has been instrumental bringing Bitcoin to the global South through his efforts and through Paxful. And then the Paxful thing, got shut down and stuff. And he has lost money, but he was able to like get out of it, in a very honorable way. And now with No One's App, I mean, he has donated, has been able to get a lot of Bitcoin donations, even also Monero donations too. So there are a lot of Palestinians already been doing, using, Bitcoin as a way to fight for their freedom and also have dignity of life too. So, so I think in that regard, like, Bitcoin has been pretty positive.
Yep.
Especially for the Palestinians.
Definitely,
and for those who are trying to help bring aid and stuff. So, but that's something we're already seeing. I mean, I know a lot of guys on Twitter. They've been talking about it too. I mean, for like months. So, which is kind of sad to see. I'm not seeing much from the LinkedIn side, but again, like here on LinkedIn, you got to be pretty polished and stuff. But
you have to be politically correct.
You should. Yeah, I mean, usually I think folks on LinkedIn just take about like 9 months to be, be kind of honest about certain topics. But then again, it's like there's always like some other trend catching, in the moment. So, but I mean, just to remind folks that hey, look, there are a lot of Bitcoiners up there are a lot of Palestinians who have been using Bitcoin, but also let's also not forget too, like what do you say? Many folks, many of the Palestinians have lost their bitcoins because of Binance, especially with sharing of the data.
I think it happened in
Iran.
The sharing
as well, unlawful sharing.
Was that in Iran as well, Markose?
I know about it.
Iranian exchange got
hacked. This was
with Binance. Okay, I didn't know about that. Okay.
I mean, yeah, I mean, no, it was just like with the Palestinians and stuff. So I mean, there's again, Ray Youssef again, another a Bitcoin OG. He has talked about it, and he had some pretty strong words. So, I mean, obviously not to CZ. I mean, that time CZ was in jail, right? I mean, but with Richard Tang. So this is where like things go. Of course, it's not. Being in the crypto space, it's not it's not sunshine and rainbow. Yeah, you're not dealing with technology issues, but you're also dealing with cultural shift, political stuff. So. This is where many Bitcoiners many libertarians have been using their capital not only to improve the tech but also political outreach. So this is where there are some positive strides taking place. So it's multifaceted. So I mean, we can talk hours about this stuff, to be honest. So.
Now, regarding political rift, when Bitcoin, we can maybe connect that to the update that might eventually happen, that is Bitcoin knots, because that is definitely an interesting point. But I thought, let's move on to the next thing, Markose, which is your favorite person, or rather ex-favorite person, that is Federal Chair Jerome Powell. I think this might just be his last year, because I think he might resign or he might be asked to leave. But anyways, at the Jackson Hole speech, Markose, he did actually state that there is a very high possibility for further rate cuts, and I think he might at least reduce the rate cuts 2 more times. Based on my understanding, he might do it in November and December. But what happened is on the 17th of September, he did actually reduce the interest rate by 25 basis points. Now, what is really interesting to note, Markose, I'm not sure if you follow US politics, but there is a board of governor from the Federal Reserve Board. There is an ongoing case against her that is to do with mortgage fraud. So President Donald Trump has asked her to resign, but she is not resigning because she doesn't report to President Donald Trump, which makes a lot of sense. But what he has done is, he has hired a new governor. And that new governor is a Republican, and he's actually stressing for 50 basis points. So even at the last session, at the question and answer session, Federal Reserve Board Chair Jerome Powell was asked, what about the new governor? Did he want to reduce the interest rate? And he said yes, he wanted a higher reduction in interest rate, but they did not reduce it by 50 basis points, only 25 basis points. But it could be possible that, in November and December, there might be further rate cuts. Now, one thing what is really interesting to note, Markose, is, and he did actually say regarding tariffs, and what he said regarding tariffs, based on the information, it is not increasing the inflation. And one thing which he said is something really unique, and a lot of people in the world of tariffs. Let me know if Jerome Powell is right or wrong. I'm not sure if I'm right or what. Let me know if Jerome Powell is right or wrong. What he actually said, because of tariffs being increased, Markose, it is the middle person who's actually bearing the cost. So let's say, for instance, China, if President Donald Trump has increased tariffs from 30 to 60%, just in a hypothetical situation, the buyers in US are not paying for it. It is the middle person who's actually paying the increase in the price. That's one of the reasons why the prices of the final product will not increase. So the customer is also not paying for it. Now, Jerome Powell is not a fan of increasing in tariffs, but he's saying this is at least what the data actually shows. Now, I do remember, Markose, at the beginning of this year, we were talking about, tariffs being implemented in Unfiltered chat. And what I did, Markose, I asked my niece, who's 17 years old, President Donald Trump is going to be increasing the tariffs. How will it be impacting the inflation? Based on her understanding, she said the inflation will definitely not increase. And I had her to do a debate with my dad, because my dad is almost 80 years old. And my dad was like, no, it is definitely going to go ahead and increase the interest rate. But surprisingly, my niece was 100% right, and she was giving reasoning as to why the interest rate or the inflation will not be increasing, because the country is focusing on, production within the country. And there are, apart from tariffs, they have finer details that, countries can make it much more easier to actually go ahead and build it within their own countries. But the reason I wanted to discuss this is how does it actually connect to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, because inflation hasn't been picking up pace. So there is a very high possibility in the final quarter of this year, because when the CPI data is out, we might actually see an increase in the adoption of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and definitely the prices for that as well, isn't it? Can you hear me, Markose? I think
No, no. Okay, yeah. No. I mean, like it. I guess the question is whether, like, the tariffs play a direct role in inflation.
Yeah, and what Fed Chair Jerome Powell said, I don't know if it is right, and what he actually said is that the increase in tariffs, the customers are not paying for it. Even the buyers of the good in the US is not paying for it, but it is a middle person. So I think it will be the actual suppliers.
What do you mean middle person? You're talking about like the wholesalers and...
Yeah, I think they are the ones who are actually bearing the cost, because it is still profitable. And that's one of the reasons why the inflation data is showing pretty much the same. And it is
okay, if they're bearing it, okay, but the question is how long are they going to bear it?
Oh, based on this is based on my information, they'll be willing to bear it for a much longer time, because what is happening is more products are being imported. So they'll be more than happy to go out and handle it. They absolutely have no problem in,
for the but eventually they will, eventually businesses will pass down the, what do you say, the cost. There's a limit.
Markose. So
of course, there's going to be cost and benefit analysis. But
no, think of it, Markose. You're making, for every $100, let's say you're making $20 profit. But now, instead of $20, you're making $18 profit. But using that $18 profit, you're able to sell more. So in a way, you're actually covering up your overall profit.
No, sure. But of course, the costings can become dynamic. It doesn't say a constant. So eventually things will have to give way. I mean, this is not like the iced tea or the Costco hot dogs or something where price have stayed $1.50. If you look at the products in the supermarkets and all that stuff, I mean, things have gone up, not only just United States but globally here, even also here too. I mean, yeah. You have price controls and stuff, but
I think we'll have to take it up with Jerome Powell, because we'll have to send him a direct message via LinkedIn and ask him why did he actually say that. Again, I'm not sure on what basis. I'm sure he has got some information, And I really am not sure who the middle person is. Is it the wholesalers or is it some other party who's actually involved, who's actually paying for the higher prices? I really am not sure who the middle person is.
Yeah.
But what he did actually state that the buyers are not paying for it, and even the customers are not paying for it. It is the middle person who's actually paying for the difference. So
Okay, all right.
I'm not sure if there is any association.
No, but even also like J-Pow and also Trump too has said the same thing too. So I'm just like, okay, this is like.
And even
a little bit sus. But even also how they do the costings too.
Yeah.
I mean, like the methodology is also weird too. So it's not indicative of what's really happening on the on-ground level. Like they remove like food and some other items which people actually do use. So like it is quite suspicious. So I don't see like some of the government information as the source of truth. I think you have to like really dive into the numbers and stuff.
And what is the alternative, Markose? What is the solution for getting the source of truth?
I mean, one is I think trying to read between the lines. I mean, like, I mean, look, if people are watching this and stuff, okay, like, I can tell you there's a lot of folks who I go to church and all that stuff, or even also mosque or whoever, like. A lot of the low-income people, they are actually kind of actually like struggling with finances and stuff. Yeah, that you can hear like actual live testimonies of the people, like whether you're in the United States, some where my previous partners from Wisconsin, here in Dubai too. I mean, like people are experiencing it. So I don't think people are their experience. Would reflect the higher ups, whether they are economists or something like that. Like, it's a whole different story.
So anyway, let's keep, because it's not connected to Bitcoin.
I mean, you asked about the source of truth and stuff. Yeah. So I mean, like, you tell me where do you get this?
No, I don't think so. I don't. I'll tell you what I think. I think tariffs are not increasing the inflation. Definitely not. Consumers are not paying the prices for it. If you were to ask me, because I'm looking at all of these products, I'm looking at the things that I purchase online for simples in particular.
Okay.
So, and I'm buying quite a lot of things. The prices are exactly the same.
Yeah.
And a lot of these products are actually produced in the United States of America, and it is vice versa, whether you export or even import. Because a friend of mine, he's actually selling a lot of the gear, drum-related gear, and he's like, the prices are pretty much exactly the same. So, and this is my example. I mean, I'm looking at only one.
Okay, sure. But you're talking about like specialty stuff. But I'm talking about like consumer goods.
General, I'm pretty much sure it could be different. You're talking about.
But I mean, just to keep it simple, like in terms of like inflation stuff, like a lot of it is just coming from money printing. I mean, we are seeing like the increase of monetary supply, so people's purchasing power is going down. So.
And that's one of the reasons why we advocate for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, isn't it? Go ahead and buy Bitcoin, or even accept Bitcoin as a form of payment. Now let's talk about another news, which I think is absolutely massive, and I think these are some massive giants who are actually getting involved in tokenization. So you have Ripple, you have Securitize, you have BlackRock, as well as VanEck.
And VanEck,
yeah. So they are actually working on tokenization project, and the whole idea behind this is this particular integration will add 24/7 off-ramp, it'll boost liquidity, decentralized finance access, and it's going to be an enterprise-grade utility. So it looks like Ripple stablecoin, that is RLUSD, could potentially be a game changer, isn't it? Because them working with Securitize itself is a massive deal. And for listeners who want to learn about tokenization, I think Securitize is an absolutely giant company in the world of tokenization.
Oh, totally, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah. I think like Securitize came into the picture, like if I recall, was it like 2016 or 2017? Yeah. So not many people knew about them, but now like, but of course, this is what happens when you have first mover advantage.
Yeah,
it does play an important role. Same thing with Ethereum. It has a first mover advantage when it comes to the topic of smart contracts. Who's the first mover advantage in terms of DEXs or something like that? Like say Uniswap maybe. So yeah, they're there. Who else we can think of? Like
MakerDAO.
In terms of like fast MakerDAO. Okay, that's there.
Rebranded to Sky.
Oh yeah, that's a whole other that's a whole other situation. But all right, I know the logo is like a little bit sus to me, but okay. Let's talk about like Solana. I mean, like, they won the NATO war like compared to Avalanche.
Yeah.
I know by 25,000%. No, more than that actually. Like when it comes to like scalability, so for example with Securitize, they had the first mover advantage, and now they're reaping the benefit with BlackRock and VanEck, I guess. I don't know about State Street, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, BlackRock, and you mentioned VanEck, right? Or Bank, whatever.
And if I'm not mistaken, Markose, Ripple, the Pripco project on tokenization, that is also working on Ripple blockchain, isn't it?
To be honest, I don't know.
Yeah, that is also
you could be right. Yeah, I mean, Pripco, yeah, but you're talking about the Pripco here in the UAE, right?
Yeah, that is also working.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I've seen it around, but even some of my friends who are not in the crypto space or the tech space, I'm seeing a lot of like, I guess, some institutional folks, TradFi, they've been talking about crypto. So yeah, I mean, crypto is getting a lot of attention.
Yep.
But kudos to the marketing team and the leadership team for making it happen. So
now I'm really curious to check, how the market cap of Ripple's stablecoin will be reacting to this. Now, could it be possible maybe 3 to 5 years they would actually compete with Circle USDC or maybe even Tether? Only time will tell, I guess, isn't it? The Ripple is definitely looking strong. Now,
I don't have much to say about Ripple, but yeah, I mean, they've been in the news for some time, especially with this, with the RWA stuff. So and the stablecoin stuff too. So
and
I mean,
the CTO, that is David Schwartz, has decided to step down by the end of this year as well, because he's focusing more on his personal life.
Oh damn, yo, that's crazy. Okay. I didn't expect that.
No, he's definitely stepping down. He put out a really nice post via X, where he's really thankful for the community, but he's focusing on his personal family life, which is, I believe, absolutely great, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he's been in the game for a long time, and also he was also a former NSA cryptographer, so I mean, he goes way back, so not many people know about that. But yeah, I mean, look, he has done a great job with Ripple. So I think, hey, you deserve to be with your family and reap the rewards. So I think that's a beautiful thing. So that's the reason why we're in the space, right? Like,
are you there, Mark?
Yeah. Okay.
It just got cut off.
But yeah, but let's let's dive into maybe a little bit about Bitcoin.
Hello?
Spill the beans on that, or spill the tea, whatever it is. Like, what is it all about? I mean, it's kind of hard to explain. So I know you have a better grasp on those things, way better than me.
Yeah, we won't go into the technical aspects of it because it is fairly technical. But essentially, there's a bit of drama going on right now between Bitcoin Core and Bitcoin Knots with a K. And the drama, I do think, is kind of similar to, what Bitcoin Core and Bitcoin Cash had, but are not that aggressive, to be completely honest. Now, one of the reasons why this drama is because Bitcoin Knots will essentially be a fork of Bitcoin Core. Now, even I'm not sure, Markose, which side to actually pick, but let me, to our listeners, just give a very basic idea of what it is. Now, what Bitcoin Knots does is, it adds a bit of extra rules and features. And now, here's the thing, Markose, they are saying that they are very conservative and going old school, and they are enforcing transaction policies, but a lot of Bitcoin Core, they are saying it is exactly the opposite. Now, just to give a very basic level and try to make it as simple as much as possible, Bitcoin Core, they have something called a straight-term version 2. Now, what that does is, Markose, it gives miners the ability to go and choose certain transactions. Now, this sounds great because, miners can go and take the fiat transaction based on higher fees. But at the same time, some of the advocates of Bitcoin Knots, they are saying that because miners can go ahead and pick certain transactions, could it be possible that they can even go ahead and censor a lot of these transactions? And that eventually, based on my understanding, it could actually lead to centralization or even censorship, isn't it? Now, Markose, I'm not sure if you remember the debate that Tone Vanes had with Roger Ver on the ship. I think it was in 2017 in one of the yacht parties, isn't it? Where they were discussing, I believe they were discussing Lightning Network back then. It definitely was during 2017. So what did actually happen is, Toneways did actually, it wasn't even Lightning Network, it was just with old school Bitcoin. And Roger Ver was saying that, Bitcoin cash transactions are much faster, and Toneways said, no, I'll go ahead and send you a Bitcoin now, and you will immediately receive it. And they recorded the entire thing, and he did actually immediately receive it. And Roger Ver said, look, the miners knew that you are sending these transactions, and they had the ability to go ahead and put this transaction and approve it. And a lot of in the Bitcoin community had a little bit of, they were saying, no, Roger was completely wrong. But Andrea Santanopoulou, I very specifically remember the fact that miners have the ability to go ahead and pick certain transactions and put it onto the blockchain. It also means that they cannot go ahead and pick certain transactions, which means, could it be possible that the government could actually instruct miners that you cannot go ahead and use these transactions and put it onto the blockchain? So this is just my honest opinion, and we are talking about it at a very broad level. If you look at it from a technical detail, it is slightly much more complex than that. So that is essentially what the whole drama is. Now, that thing being said, Bitcoin Knots, they have something called as Ocean Pool and Datum, and they remove the ability for miners to go ahead and pick certain transactions. But the drawback is that particular ideation is not open source. So yeah, we talk so much about open source. So
what a shocker! What a shocker!
So I'm really not sure what the final outcome to this will be. I mean, will it be that it'll be changing to Bitcoin Knots? Will there be a hard fork? Will there be a soft fork? Or will there be absolutely nothing about it? Only time will tell, I guess. But it's always fun to have a bit of drama in the so-called open source, open blockchain, isn't it? Now imagine, Markose, if this thing is done on a centralized system, let's say like Meta or let's say Instagram, they don't need to ask the community for it. They can just go ahead and implement and make these changes, isn't it? Now there are positives to it, there are negatives to it as well. The negative is, let's see if it is some really critical information. In case of an open blockchain, that decision could take a long time. It could take maybe a couple of months. Like the last update, the Taproot and Shaw signature, that took roughly around 18 months for the entire community to decide. So that was essentially a bit of drama in the world of Bitcoin Core versus Bitcoin Knots. Now the next thing, Markose, is a really edgy topic, and this is connected to digital ID. Now United Kingdom, they are officially launching a digital ID, which is different to something called as NIS number, National Insurance Number. And looks like it is only one side of the political party who's in favor of the digital ID. I really am not sure what the benefits are, but we can list out a lot of negatives of having a digital ID, isn't it? What is your thoughts? Because we did have a guest, Markose, right, who talked about the dangers of digital ID, which captures a lot of biometrics as well.
Oh, just repeat again. Sorry, I think you mentioned what are the potential dangers
of digital ID, and we did have a guest. I think it was Paul who had written a book about the dangers of biometric ID, isn't it?
Yeah. Called Citizen One, and also next week he's also working on releasing this course about privacy and how do you protect yourself and all that stuff. So I guess essentially in that live stream we did with him like a couple of months ago, he covered privacy concerns, political manipulation.
Yeah.
That is possible. I mean, we're seeing it in our times too. So definitely, when we talk about government, obviously, the obvious, government surveillance. You have identity theft from rogue nations or rogue say entities or groups. Think of your usual hackers. Definitely, biometric information. Think of 23andMe, that data being leaked, which is such a huge catastrophe. So this is something, and of course, as a regular Joe and Jane, you're so connected to the internet and devices, your data is getting breached and getting used by the wrong people. I mean, we've seen that. Just yesterday, I just had a conversation with some of the speakers in this event, and one of their friends got arrested at the airport, heading to Singapore for token 2049. But apparently, someone was using that person's number and like messing his life up. So it created this unintended consequences, and this is where like when you have like kind of like a centralized database.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's just a glorified honeypot. So that that leads to a whole other thing. I know there's some other stuff. I know I know George, you could like I know you cover too, like over here.
Yeah, I remember even when Bitcoin, well, El Salvador, made Bitcoin a legal tender, Markose, they used to achieve a wallet. And I believe it was a year and a half ago that data got breached as well as in it. Now they are saying that it is the opposition political party who intentionally breached the data. And now I don't think so. It is no longer legal tender anymore, isn't it? Bitcoin is no longer legal tender in El Salvador, right?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, not because I think El Salvador, like a couple of months ago, did accept the loans from the IMF.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's like 1 billion or 2 billion, but it should be that amount. So,
what I was thinking is, regarding the digital ID, how about we have a proper session and we can invite Paul once again and he can talk about his book. Because what I really liked about him is Markose.
But also he also has a course too.
Oh, excellent.
So he also launched like a new course too. So I think that'll give people kind of like a practical approach to protecting their digital identity, their information in a very practical way, like how we use emails, shopping, providing data to governments and stuff or agencies, not to a third party thing, but anyways, I think I think it's really good timing that he's working on that course. I think that will be that's something I'm really curious about and would love other people to learn about it. So and also for me,
And one of the reasons why this UK digital ID is a bit daunting is because I think they want to make it compulsory by the end of the term. So, they are very adamant about it. And we'll also discuss, is it only one side of the politics that is asking for the digital ID, or is it both sides of the politics? So we'll definitely, most likely, we'll try to do it on the weekdays or something. The next thing is, Markose.
But George, the quick question. Sorry, no, but look, you lived in the UK for like what, several years, right? And you still connect with some friends over there and people over there. Like, what's the human sentiment? What's that sentiment going on?
Absolutely
on the ground level. I think that is
absolutely horrible. Yeah.
Go ahead and just share more. Yeah, please.
No, they're definitely not liking it at all. They're currently not liking what is going on, particularly in the world of digital ID as well. And I am a brand ambassador for a couple of events, and I'm reading a couple of the WhatsApp messages. So things are definitely not looking that great. And these are guys, who are on the other side of the politics, but they have changed their stance completely. So we'll definitely go and talk about quite a lot of these things. But yeah, the next thing, Markose, which I wanted to touch base, and I wanted to get your opinion on it also, Markose, because in the Blockchain DXB podcast, I covered this news, which actually states that the Bitcoin search interest rate has fallen down to 11-month low. Now, what is your thoughts, Markose? What do you personally tend to look at? Do you look at Google right now, or do you look at any information for ChatGPT? Now, me personally, I pretty much stopped using Google, and is that the reason why the trend is the search results in Google is going down, or people are genuinely not caring about Bitcoin anymore? Because what I tend to do is, Markose, whenever I want to search anything, be it, let's say, a shoe, a Spartan checklist, I look at ChatGPT or Grok. I pretty much stopped using Google. So is that just me or everyone else? What is it that you tend to do for searching anything now?
Yeah. No, look, we are seeing a surge if you're coming from the marketing world, we are seeing a surge of usage in terms of ChatGPT. People, starting to use it more.
Yeah. Even for basic searches, right?
So definitely, there's going to be, basic searches too. Yeah. I think but still, like most folks aren't using ChatGPT yet.
Yeah, that is true as well.
But there is kind of like there are shifts, so it's kind of hard to it's hard to say. So we'll see maybe a year and a half or something how things are. But what is funny is I'm here at this event at the CMT Summit, the Investment Summit, and there has been they showed through Google search,
Oh,
there has been an uptick in terms of crypto search, AI search. There's also two other things too. I can't. My mind is blank on it. But people, I mean, people still do use it. So.
yeah,
It'll be interesting to see how it is. I guess in our world, okay, we are using ChatGPT and stuff, so
yeah.
it's like, oh, everybody else is using it, but I won't be surprised. Like most regular folks are still not using ChatGPT, and if they are, it's so limited. It's so simple. It's just like very simple task.
Yeah.
So again, this is where it takes practice and training and new insights to be able to leverage ChatGPT or any other AI products out there. So
And
we'll figure things out, man.
Because just yesterday, Markose, a friend of mine, I was supposed to meet him at my place, but he wanted to meet me somewhere else, which was literally 5-minute walking distance from my place. And he told me that restaurant's place, and I didn't know what it is. So rather than looking even at that information on Google, I put it on ChatGPT. Can you tell me where this place? Yeah, I mean, and that's the moment I realized, are people using ChatGPT more than using, Google, or maybe it is just me. I'm not sure. Then I asked my niece. My niece is also using ChatGPT, even for everything, Markose. Now, even for shoes or absolutely anything by Amazon, I'm not looking at Google anymore.
Okay, that's interesting. I guess when it comes to like shopping and stuff and location, I use Google actually. Like ChatGPT is more like research and stuff actually. But okay, that's interesting. That's an interesting case, I guess.
And earlier
today, we learned something new.
Earlier today, also, I wanted to go to another place. Rather than looking at Google Map, I asked ChatGPT because I think it recognizes my address. Well, how long will it take? And I was like, oh, okay. And it is fairly accurate as well. So, the other thing, let me just see where my screen is marked.
All right, but let's get into like the crypto market trends, or is there anything we need to cover? I mean, we already talked about DeFi Llama and stuff, and
the only thing, Markose, because I release episodes every day, what I've been looking at, and this is something which you mentioned at the beginning of the episode as well, the very first thing which I'm looking at now is the ETF related information, and this is the inflows and outflows, and so far the connection is absolutely spot on, which means that there is inflows, there is a very high chance the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies will be pumping up in the next few hours. But the moment I see outflows, you can kind of tell that the prices will actually be going down. And I wanted to check it, the government shutdown, because it was exactly at 12 a.m. And the inflows was $1.8 billion. And if you logically think of it, if the US government shut down, the prices should actually go down, isn't it? But it hasn't. It has actually pumped up to, it has pumped up by well over 3 or 4%. I'm talking about Bitcoin and even other cryptocurrencies.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But what a lot of listeners can do is you can look at it yourself via DeFiLlama.com. But once again, it gets updated few hours. But what I've done is put a nice customized prompt that can you look at it, and I ask for information only in a specific way. So, and I use Grok for that because Grok gives updated information. And then when I look at, occasionally I check it with DeFiLlama.com. I think the information is pretty accurate. I would say absolutely accurate. Now the other thing is, Markose, and this is since the last 3 months because we haven't been doing unfiltered chat. Right now there's a lot of narrative built up regarding Ethereum treasury firms. So a lot of non-crypto related companies, they are buying Ethereum, putting it into the balance sheet, and they are completely forgetting about it. And if I'm not mistaken, even Peter Thiel, he's also heavily focused on Ethereum treasury firm. And there's right now a bit of drama going on between him and Michael Saylor, isn't it? In the world of Bitcoin treasury firm or Ethereum treasury firm, because he has taken up a medical firm and he's changed that to Eat something. And they are focusing only on Ethereum treasury firms. So essentially what they're doing is a lot of non-crypto firms, they're buying Ethereum, putting it into the balance sheet. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted to touch base on this is because, Markose, the moment someone buys Ethereum, puts it into the balance sheet, they have the ability to become validators as well. And because they are becoming validators, the total value locked is going off the chart. And right now it is at $167 billion, the total value locked. And just to give some context, Markose, before the Bitcoin ETF and Ethereum ETF news, the total value locked used to hover somewhere between $30 to $40 billion mark. On an average given date, it used to be $30 to $40 billion mark. So from $30 to $40 billion mark, because of ETFs, And because of this whole Ethereum treasury narrative, it has actually pumped up to $160 billion mark. Now, this $160 billion is not just for Ethereum, it is for all the proof of stake related protocols. And you can look at it via DeFiLlama.com. And along with that, Marcus, I'm not sure if we discussed this, but right now it also shows you the fees, the combined fees that are being charged by decentralized exchanges. If you go to DeFiLlama.com, it tells you the total transactions using decentralized exchanges, and there is a new tab that they have added. It tells you the actual fees, and the fees by using decentralized exchanges less than 1%. So the reason why I wanted to talk about this is, let's say if there are any institutional giants who are wanting to buy Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, you'll be paying a hefty transaction fee, isn't it? You'll be paying maybe 4 to 5%,
Yeah,
or
that's
maybe
true.
slightly less. But in case of decentralized exchanges, it is less than 1%. So using DEX is definitely probably the way to go forward. But other than that, let's see, Marcos.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, let's dive into what's happening in the local level.
Yeah,
What's happening here in the UAE, man?
Yeah, there are just two news I wanted to touch base, Marcus, in the world of artificial intelligence. The first one is something which we already touched base upon. That is Abu Dhabi is planning to become the world's first fully AI native government across digital services by 2027. So I think it's only connected to the government services. So there's definitely a very high possibility for them to go out and achieve that. And they've also partnered with G42, and they will definitely make that happen. The other one, Marcus, which I found it really interesting, and I did not get much information regarding this. This is the project called as Humane, which is by the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. It is his AI project, which is backed by the Saudi.
So like a laptop powered by AI.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
AI.
Yeah. So they have.
I heard about it, but I have no clue about it. So I still need to dive in. So need to look. I mean, if anyone listening in, if you have any idea what Humane is, please do share, educate us.
Yeah.
Because it's I just heard through the grapevine.
Yeah. So essentially, it'll be the AI is embedded into the laptop itself. So I'm not sure if it tackles all the necessary updates or how will it work. I don't know how it works.
Okay.
But the only thing
I'm curious. What does that mean though? Yeah. So that's the thing. I mean, I'll see to believe it, because like every product out there, they all have rebranded with AI and stuff. So it's not something groundbreaking or whatever. So anyways, I will see to believe it. So
yeah. The only thing is there are 100 students who will be given that laptop for free. And that is, I believe there is an event taking place in Saudi Arabia. So it is great if you're a student to get that laptop. At least you get some idea on what is going on. But yeah, I think that is pretty much all, Marcus. Any update from your end? I think you're starting a new role, isn't it?
No. Yeah, so I'll be working with CoinW, as part of the business development team. So yeah, I'm just excited about it, and also helping out with DBE, with the Dubai Blockchain Events Group. So it's that time of the year, right? So we do have the Future Blockchain Summit, Blockchain Live. We have a lot of interesting events taking place. A lot of people, our friends from the United States.
Are you there, Marcus?
Yeah.
I think it got the internet cut off. I'm pretty much sure it is because of the red cable. I'm not sure if it is from mine. Could you hear me, Marcus? Or
I can hear you. I can hear you. Anyways, but what's the update from your side, man?
Not much. I mean, I've got Amana as the podcast sponsor. So if any of the listeners, they want to go and use the Amana app, they're kind of like the OGs in the exchange space. You can use the code BlockchainDXB, and you get $100 worth of. You put in $100, and then you get $100 worth of credit that you can use for the next month's purchase. And along with that, we also partnered with Walsh College in UAQ, which is from El Quain. That's where my license is from. So I might be doing a couple of educational sessions on Bitcoin and open blockchain, and also an event on tokenization for the
nice.
And since the last 3 months, we've been working a bit on partnership on Bitcoin Asia 2025, Bitcoin MENA event, and also for the Future Blockchain Summit. But Marcus, I love to do a lot of obstacle course race. So anyone who's into fitness, there is Spartan Trifecta event taking place between the 11th and 12th of this month. So if you guys want to get in a discount code. It is George20.
Hey, good time of the year, right?
Yep.
Good time of the year. I mean, the weather is getting better, so yeah.
And there's another one, Markose, which I would love to invite you as well, which is in Hatta. I believe that is on the 1st and the 2nd of November. It is a trail run as well as obstacle course race in Tough Mudder. So essentially, there are 3 events. One is Spartan race, Spartan obstacle course race, and Tough Mudder.
Okay, it's on a Saturday and a Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure, Markose, if you know, there's one commonality with some of the OGs of Bitcoin and runners. A lot of the OGs of Bitcoin, they are avid runners. Even Hal Finney, he used to do a lot of marathons and ultra marathons.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, but for his, and he has some serious health issues and stuff. So, yeah, you're right. Many of the OGs too, and even also, like for example, like with Roger Ver, he's big into jiu-jitsu. He has invested like millions in longevity. Yeah. So because hey, you can have all the Bitcoins in the world, all the crypto in the world and stuff, but if you're not able to live long enough to enjoy the fruits of your labor, your hard work and stuff, what's the point? So that's food for thoughts. So
yeah. And I do have another podcast, called as Race-Based Podcast, Markose, where I do actually interview ultra runners. And one thing which I notice is when you ask the ultra runners about Bitcoin, they give you a very specific and concise answer, which is, great that, they know very much on what is going on in the Bitcoin. Well, they are not Bitcoiners as such. They're mostly proper ultra runners. They do that for a living. But when you ask them about Bitcoin, they give you very specific and updated information. So maybe they are listening to podcasts, when they're going in for the ultra runs and stuff. Yeah, I think we have covered pretty much everything, Markose, isn't it?
Yeah, that's about it. No, hey guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know this is a more like an impromptu, off the cuff, session. I know it's been a while, but now the event season's coming in. Definitely we are in the month of October. Wink, wink. So yeah, so definitely we're trying to definitely will be much more involved, and yeah, we'll be bringing some new guests coming in. So it's just a matter of date and time. So yeah, so definitely pretty stoked about it, and yeah, I think me and George will work on some cool ideas, in terms of podcasts and new guests, maybe new scripts. And yeah, and also bringing the best people in the area of blockchain, Web3, AI, and also emerging tech too. So you'll be the first to know, y'all. So yeah, and yeah, man, just hey, just enjoying life, man. Just love it. So anyway, gotta go, guys.
Take care, Markose. Thanks so much for doing this.